What's up, Slayers? Frankie Provolone here. Slay Nation, tournament fishing. What's going on, y'all? It's Friday night, May 26th. It's another Slay Station. We're going to recap things that happened in May. We're going to talk to some West Coast Slayers. We're going to talk to some Lady Slayers. And we're just going to recap a few things. And that's about it. We're going to talk fishing, y'all. So thanks for tuning in. If you are tuning in from YouTube, or Facebook, make sure you grant StreamYard permission so we know who's tuning in, because you might leave a comment and it will just say Facebook user. We won't know who it is. And if you don't grant it permission, just say, hey, what's going on? Greg from New York. All right, just so we know. So tune in. Let's have some fun. Now, before we get started, we always have to thank our sponsors, right? The ones that support our Slayers. Our title sponsor, you know it, Z Pro Lithium, right? Slay with dependability, slay with confidence. Go check out zprolithium.com and get one of the fastest growing lithium batteries in the market, in the fishing industry, right? In the fishing industry. So go check out Z Pro Lithium. All Slay Nation members use your discount code. All right. Also, we like to thank Heat Your Meat. That's right. The biggest bass of our events, right? Getting the Heat Your Meat hot seat right now. Heat Your Meat. This is their pickling kit, right? It's a pickling kit. You can get it right off their website along with all their spices, their rubs, whatever you want. This actually has the ingredients, has the salt packet, everything you need to do with their seasoning. And this is great for summertime or hot months. Make some, put some life in those pickles, baby. Whatever tickles that pickle. We also like to thank X-Zone Lures. X marks the spot. That's right, X-Zone Lures, right? This right here is their MB Finesse Worm, 6-inch, right? Peanut butter jelly. Brandon Palaniuk, Carl Jacobson, pros use them, Slayers use them. So go check them out as well. Also, Harmony Fishing Company, the official hook of Slay Nation, right? John over there at Harmony, they've been with us for a few years now. Some of the sharpest, stoutest hooks on the market, no doubt about it. This right here is part of their Razor series. It's their toad prop. So if you like fish in top waters, like soft plastic frogs, right? It's got a little prop there on the front, a little helicopter. Put that, get a little extra, right? Splash and attraction on that top water frog or whatever you decide to use for top water, right? And last but certainly not least, Hooks at Hoodlums, Ride or Collide, y'all, right? Another veteran-owned organization. There it is, hooksahoodlums.com. Check out their apparel and use your Slay Nation code, y'all. There it is. So without further ado, let's get some guests on. See what we got. We have West Coast anglers, Lady Slayers. Few quick updates. One, jerseys, right? Z Pro. It's a whole. I sent an email to all Slayers. We are not making them. This is the first year we're not making them ourselves in-house in Slay Ray's basement with the heat press. We kind of outgrew that. Z Pro was making it. We had to place one bulk order. That's what took so long. One bulk order. We placed over 600 jerseys. And so that was why there's such a delay, because we couldn't just guess sizes. If we didn't have the correct size for a member, you can't get a one-off anymore. It's not where Ray's downstairs, right? So that's the delay. Finally, there should be an any day. Michael from Z Pro said this week, I got 11 packages coming to the house. We'll take those, send them out with all the rest of the swag, the toe flags, bracelets, decals, all that stuff will be sent out as soon as I get it into your directors, and then dispersed from there. And lastly, all Slay Nation members know this. They got an email 2 weeks ago, right? Cheaters get caught. End of story. It's just a matter of time, right? No room for that in Slay Nation, no room for that anywhere. If it's chess, checkers, I don't care what it is. You will get caught and your ass will be grass, right? So don't even think about it. All right? So without that, let's get some guests on, y'all. We got David Morris in the house from California, the kayak Santa Claus. What up, Saint Nick? All right? We got Dave Nunes, right? Our California Kayak Series director. What up?
What's going on?
We got Max Lee in the house, right? California.
How's it going, guys?
Kayak Slay Nation member, right? If you guys are on the West Coast, you know that name. Glutamus Maximus Lee, right? Over here, we got Elric in the house. He is a Nevada Slay Nation member, right? What's up, Elric? Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks.
Absolutely. We have AJ Gagliardo, the stash of the West.
What's up, guys?
The Nevada kayak series director for Slay Nation. What's up, brother? Right?
Ah,
We
no,
got look who's hopping in. We got Michael Lavoie. Michael Lavoie in the house.
What's up, guys? What's up?
going on?
What's going on?
Cali Slayer in the house. We have Lady Slayer director Cheryl the Brush Bentley. What's going on, Cheryl? I just
Good
added the
evening,
brush.
guys.
I just added the brush, Cheryl. You like that?
Yeah, that was good.
She's an artist. She's an artist. You know, they call my dad Frankie the Brush. I'm Junior. They
Oh,
call him. He's an artist, but I like the brush for you too. And
yep,
then
it works.
speak of the devil, Slay Ray.
What is up?
On? What's up, Slayer? Right? This is the
What's up,
man
Ray?
right here.
How are you guys?
What's
AJ,
going
good to
on,
see you,
Ray?
Cheryl.
All
Everyone.
right. Well,
What's up,
good
what's up?
evening, everybody.
What's
We
up?
got a packed screen, packed house, whatever you want to call it. So thank you all for hopping on tonight. It's Friday. I know it's a 3-day weekend for some people. If not, hopefully not working too much this weekend. But thanks for hopping on. This is one thing I always look forward to at the end of each month is getting some Slayers from across the country. That one I've never met. I know everybody's names from seeing it come in, seeing posts, etc. But it's nice to put a face with the name. Or some of you I've seen on other podcasts, obviously. So it's been nice to watch you. But now it's nice to meet you. So here's what we'll do first. Let's start ladies first, Cheryl. Ladies first.
All right.
Let's start with the ladies Slayers. Now, I have results from the season opener this past weekend. If you don't, I don't know if you have it available or not, but I have my email
Yeah.
open. So why don't you start off? Talk about that, Cheryl. What we got
Well,
going on?
I think we had a great opening event. Out of 40 members, we had 25 participants, which a little over half. I'd like it a little higher, but for the first one, I thought
Yep.
we did well. We have kayak, boat, and bank, the 3 series. And so as far as placement, Jennifer Wilhite, I was hoping she'd be on with us tonight, but she's out in Texas. She's traveling tonight to the coast to do some salty fishing. She's going to try to pop in, but she placed first. Not only did she have the monster bass, 20 inches, she got a total 87 and a half inches over the
Nice.
weekend. So
Congrats to
she did great.
Jenny.
For her.
Congrats to Jenny.
Yeah.
She's a longtime Slayer. Good, great.
Yeah. So, and then we had our boat series. We had 7 anglers. Darlene Sotelo from Colorado placed first with 82 inches.
Ooh.
She caught some beautiful fish, a lot of smallmouth.
Yeah.
And then Stephanie from Connecticut.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I know, she's yours. 19 3/4 monster bass hot seat.
Yeah, Stephanie,
So-
where were you fishing? Tell me.
Yeah, she did great. And then last, our bank series, we had 5 anglers. Marlena Sokol from Florida. She got 86 and a quarter total inches, and she also placed monster bass.
I was watching. I was judging. some of
21
those
and a
fish.
half.
Yeah, she was putting up some monsters.
She, I
And
never caught a bass that big from the bank. That was impressive.
Yeah, I was looking. I'm like this lady was putting up, like, I see 18 and a half, 19, 20.
Yeah.
I'm like, and so I had to look what state. I'm like, oh, Florida. Oh, well, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, she did great. But
Oh.
yeah, we got a lot of positive feedback. A few ladies wanted to join, but had something else going on this weekend. So hopefully
Yeah.
future events, we can pick up the numbers. But yeah,
Yeah.
overall for the first event went well.
Yeah, well, that was a busy weekend for you too. You were fishing your own a live event, right? That Saturday, I think.
Yeah,
right?
we had the New Hampshire small vessel series. So
That's right. And how'd you
Yeah.
do in that? How'd you do in that event?
I did all right. My total numbers weren't great, but I will tell you it was my most exciting day on the water because I just hooked into more large fish than ever in one day. I just couldn't get them to commit. You know,
Okay.
they were I don't know if they were spooked being on beds and pressure, but yeah,
Okay.
I pulled in some nice ones.
Yeah, I
Lots
saw.
more than I landed, but it was a fun day for me.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. That's great.
Can I ask where you fished in New Hampshire?
It was Baxter Lake. I had
Okay.
never fished there before. But yeah, it's a nice body of water. I don't know how many of us were there. I didn't take count, but they have few teams, few solo people, and there were some really good numbers that day.
Yeah, good.
I grew
Mike.
I grew up in New Hampshire. That's where I learned how to fish.
Oh, get
Oh,
out of
okay.
here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we have some nice waters. Yeah,
Yeah.
fishing's good right now.
I
Seeing a
grew
lot
up
of good.
I grew up off of Paugus Bay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, about Winnipesaukee there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Look
That's
at that.
beautiful area.
Oh yeah. I can see what you're saying by it, all the quality fish you guys are getting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, awesome, Cheryl. And I know, this is your first year directing our online series with that. So
Yeah.
far, you're doing a phenomenal job, running the social media page and keeping everybody in tune and communicated. So I'm really excited for this season for you.
Yeah, thank you. Me too. It's been fun so far. So
All right, let's all right. Fingers crossed it stays that way and there's no
yeah.
issues. Excellent. Well, thanks for sharing that, Cheryl.
Yeah.
All right, so let's AJ, let's talk a little Nevada, dude.
Yeah, let's talk about it, man. Last Saturday was that May 20th?
May 20th, 21st.
Yeah, May 20th.
Yeah, May 20th. Yeah, so we went to Lake Mead again. Lake Mead's been kind of weird. I don't know if being on the West Coast, it's kind of a bigger deal than probably what you guys are hearing on the East Coast with this lake, but it's fluctuating. It's doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and it's gotten to it's going to like Washington, D.C. for them to figure out what they're going to do in order to keep water in this damn lake, right? So they actually came up with something shortly before our tournament started, like a couple weeks before, where they were able to flood it with some water from Lake Powell and the Colorado River and stuff, and it came up. What do you think, Elric? Came up like, 8 feet maybe?
Yeah, it definitely came up before we were putting mats down, and it came up to the cement ramp. So
yeah,
you guys don't understand, but the lake was disappearing.
Yeah, it was to the point where, like, we're talking like the structure that you fish is not your typical like salt cedars, or we don't have hydrilla everywhere and grass flats and stuff like that. That's non-existent. So when it started getting low, it was like chunk rock, like desert, like you're fishing and like there's like bighorn sheep coming down drinking water right next to you, and it gets the craziest environment right now. But yeah, it's nuts. But so we got some water right before the tournament started, which kind of was weird for me. I don't know about Elric, but I went out pre-fishing a couple days prior, and I think I told Elric, I was like, dude, I've seen a couple of fish on beds. They're pre-spawn, they're post-spawn, they're spawning. Like it was, and now we got water. So they're in areas where trees had been growing for the last year and a half, and now that all that vegetation is submerged. And so I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna relate to all that. I thought it was good fishing, but I think after some rain and stuff like that, the water got pretty muddy. All the debris that got brought in from Colorado made it for a little difficult. But out of 16 anglers, we had 3 new anglers show up, submitted 97 fish, which was awesome out of 16 anglers. So it was a pretty fun event, and our first, second, and third place was only separated by a 1/4 inch each.
Oh wow!
So 80.75 won, 80.50 took second, 80.25 took third. And here's where it got kind of funky: was our big fish was actually only 17.50.
Oh,
what was it years past?
Oh, well, we're still pretty new. Like I don't think we did anything at Temple Bar previously. Actually, we had one tournament at Temple before, and it's usually 17 to 18.
18 maybe. Yeah, our fish out here aren't that big.
No, yeah, they don't get protected, and yeah, they don't. The smallmouths get pretty good, but the largemouth they're hurting. They're competing for a lot of forage with other species and stuff. So.
Now, does Lake Mead have big smallies like Havasu does?
Not as big.
Oh yeah.
I don't think so.
Sorry, no, not as big. Mojave would be competing, with the size. Mojave's got some big smallmouth. Lake Mead, not so much.
We got a lot of stripers that eat the bass.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the carp and the tilapia and all that stuff are starting to put hurting on the environment. So
Oh wow, there's tilapia in there, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Are they
I
getting
went out
pretty
there
big?
and I thought to myself, I was like, I'm just gonna go run up and down this one cove, bunch of salt feeders in it. I was like, all morning. I'll do top water and then just slowly transition over to pitching inside of the salt feeders and then drop shotting out on the main lake. And that I got a limit, and I was telling somebody at the ramp, I was like, this was the worst day of fishing I've ever had, having caught a limit. I mean, I had 2 fish jump the board. Like I had an 1875 just jump off like mid freaking photo. I'm like, man, I haven't done that in a minute. 15 minutes later, I did it again with like a 14-inch fish. So I'm like, but it was a good time for everybody. But Elric here, he took second, so he's probably got
I
more
took
experience than
second.
I do.
Yeah.
Talk about that, Elric.
Yeah, more excited than my 11.
Well, yeah, everybody had the weather over here has been beautiful. It's been in the spawn and post spawn, so there was a lot of fish out there, and everybody knew it. Everybody that went out was reporting, 30 fish days, 40 fish.
Mhm.
I had a lot of fish on my pre-fish, so I knew the place was just flooded with fish. Maybe not size, but
Right.
a lot of fish.
Yep.
So my strategy,
anglers, almost everybody had a limit. I think that
everybody almost had a limit.
Yeah. Good.
Almost. I think there was like probably four anglers who didn't, but yeah.
Right. So it was going to be a good tournament, and so I changed my strategy to doing like power fishing, just tossing out a swim bait, reeling it fast. There's a guy out here in Utah. His name's Cody Henley.
Yeah.
He's a good stick. And if you ever watch his videos, he steers this Hobie with his foot, and then powers down the bank, and just rips it, just keeps casting. Numbers game. And I figured that's what I had to do, and that's what I did to get like I must have landed like 40 bass. They were like a lot of smaller ones, and before I would stop and just take a picture of each one, but I knew there were so many out there that I had to unhook and just get back to work.
Yeah.
So that was my secret.
That was probably the most frustrating part of the day, was like just that you hook into one and you're just like, all right, like please, like call up, like even a quarter inch, like anything, and they're just.
Oh, and a lot of stripers too. A lot of stripers were.
I was just going to ask you, do you have to feed through a lot of stripers to get to those bass?
Yeah. Sometimes when you're going through an area, you'll see your fish finder light up, and it's not bass because it's not that many. It's the striper school.
Yeah.
So when that happens, I kind of I need to move away or come back to that spot because I'm just going to waste my time, because I mean it's a great fight, but when you're in a tournament, every second counts.
Yeah,
Are they
absolutely.
large? Are they talking?
They were
like
pretty
40
decent.
inch, or?
Well, not large. They weren't like 20 pounders or 15 pound. I mean, in the East Coast, you get the large ones, right?
Right.
Yeah.
These are schoolie size. What, maybe 3 pounds?
Yep.
Yeah.
Still, like you said, a great
20
fight.
to 20 something.
What's that?
Yeah, stripers.
Yeah, the stripers. Yeah.
Yeah, the stripers. There's if you go in a different part of our lake, down by Willow Beach, it's like known for big stripers down there, and there's some guys that'll pull some monsters out of there every now and again. But where we're at, they're just nuisance fish. They get up to, like you said, like 18 to 20 inches, and then school up big, like real big. You see them schooling up, and you're just like, all right, like no bass is gonna be able to compete with this. They're all gonna take off. So
nice. And so, and it looks like your AOI standings is pretty close, correct? Like it's almost anybody's game.
Show up to the tournaments, and if karma's on your side, man, it could be yours in a second. I was holding on to first for a little while. I was excited about that. One bad day, man. So yeah.
And then what's up next for Nevada? When's your next event, in June?
Yeah, so we got June 16th and 17th. I think it's Father's Day weekend. We're going to be doing a little bit different strategy or like format than we normally do, which is anglers are going to be able to choose which day they fish, whether it's Saturday or Sunday. They declare that prior to the tournament starting. And then they'll go out to a rural Nevada pond. So whether it's, I mean, there's a few throughout Nevada that they can go and fish, but what's up?
What's up, Jenny?
Hey, what's up?
You made it.
I made it. I'm still traveling.
Oh, that's right. Cheryl filled us in. You're traveling. in Texas to do some salt fishing.
Yes, I'm super excited. Yeah. Gonna go
Good
catch
for
some
you.
sharks.
You're going to you're going shark fishing?
Nice.
Yes.
Where at?
Yes.
Where?
Crystal Beach.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, super excited about it.
Are you going land based or are you going on a boat?
Going on a boat.
Okay. Be
Nice.
careful. Yeah, be
I
careful.
will. I will. It'll be fun.
Oh my God, that's awesome. So we had Cheryl talking earlier, just recapping the Lady Slayers season opener, and congratulations for taking first in
you.
the kayak series, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yay.
Right on.
Okay.
And monster bass.
Yes.
And monster bass. That's
There you
right.
go.
How
Yeah.
could I forget? I made the damn post. I forgot.
Congrats.
Okay.
Awesome. We'll talk about that real quick. We were just talking with our Nevada crew, but I know that you're in like a spotty area. I just want to make sure you get your due diligence real quick. Sorry, gents. We'll get back to that.
Yeah, no worries. Go for it.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
No,
no,
go for it.
worries.
it's all right. Ladies first, girl.
Shark fishing takes precedence.
Ladies first.
Awesome. So now, were you fishing? Like, was it? You didn't have a live event that you were simultaneously. This is why I'm a phys ed teacher, y'all. Right? You were able to choose where you wanted to go.
Oh,
correct?
right. Yeah.
Nice. And so this is like what, your third season slaying with the Lady Slayers.
It is. I love it.
So
I
wait a second.
absolutely love
Let me correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember, you used to fish out of the float tube when we first started.
That's exactly right. I
Oh my
started in a
God.
float tube.
That's right.
Fun.
How can I forget that? I'll never forget that. You were the first person, other than Elvis Lee, in Minnesota, that I saw fishing out of a float tube. I said, "What the hell is this lady fishing out?" I'm judging fish. I'm like, is she in a pool? She's in a damn tube, and you're catching these giants.
Yes.
And I'm like,
love
holy
it.
shit, she's in a float tube. God bless.
Yes, I love it. I still fish out of it every once in a while.
What do you like better, float tube or kayak?
I gotta say kayak now. I'm
I
addicted
figured.
to my kayak.
I was gonna say, oh my God. So when you're in a float tube, do you use flipper? How do you get it? Like, use flippers? What the hell?
Your legs are your motors.
So you just kick your legs underneath?
Yeah, I kick my legs. I usually
Like
wear like
Mario
fins.
Kart?
Like a duck underwater.
Like a duck underwater?
Exactly.
Oh my God. Well, congratulations.
Thank
you're
you.
fishing, Texas, you're Texas slaying. You're fishing a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah. Texas big, and we got some good bass over here in Texas, and they are chewing right now.
Yeah.
It's been really good.
Are you fishing any of the Bass Nation stuff when they come visit?
I have not. I need to, but I have not.
I thought for sure you might be in something like that.
Hey, last year I did. I fished fork with y'all guys when y'all.
Oh,
came.
you did?
I did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
Jennifer,
Yes.
are you fishing any of those lunker lakes where they get those in the lunker programs?
The share lunker.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, the place I was at, the one that I got big bass.
Right.
That's a share lunker lake. Yeah.
My God, that's a dream of ours. You know, our biggest bass that we had in our past tournament was what, 17 3/4. That was our big bass.
That's what I heard you say.
You say share lunker. What is share lunker?
Yeah, what's share lunker? What does that mean?
Oh, geez, you guys.
Oh, the share
like their
lunker
initiative.
program. Oh yeah, it's amazing. That's what. If you get anything 8 pounds or over, they record it. But you want to get in the double digits. They take anything over 13 pounds, and then they breed them and they take them other places, and they restock our lakes with them.
Oh, interesting. That's
Cool.
Oh,
I don't mean to interrupt, but if anybody from Nevada Department of Wildlife is watching this, which I doubt it, but if they are, Texas has a recipe that you guys might want to
13 pounds, guys. 13 pounds is what they take.
That's
that's humongous.
Texas anyhow.
Right.
Isn't that what I heard?
Well, don't they have a facility near Lake Fort?
Actually, they do at Athens. They sure do.
Oh,
Their
And they
facilities
take
right
all
there.
the DNA and then release the
sure
big ones
do.
back in. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
Is that Florida strain or what is that?
Yeah,
Or not, you know.
yeah. A lot of them are
Most
a
of them.
combination of Florida strain. Yeah, they
Oh.
take
Yeah,
really big ones, and and then they go restock all the. There's a new lake they're opening, and they just restocked it with what they call Lone Star bass, is what they're calling them, that are coming out of the share lunker program.
That's cool.
Yeah.
When you said share lunker at first, I was thinking, all right, if we're fishing a tournament, you catch an 8-pounder, you say, Frank, here, you use it. Share
I got to
lunker.
put Texas
Thank
on
you.
my bucket
Thank
list.
you.
Yes, you do. Come see us.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad you got to hop on, Jenny.
Yeah, me too.
Go ahead. Who was saying something? Oh, never mind. But I hope you're doing great. Stay strong.
Thank you.
You know what
I
we're talking
will.
about, right?
Yes, sir.
Always rooting for you.
Yeah,
obviously,
and get one of those lunkers.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, share some of those lunkers with California.
Yeah, have
Okay.
Texas,
Listen,
have Texas bring some of those largemouth and take some of our spots.
Yeah, you can ship UPS nowadays. Just put some dry ice. We'll be all right.
We'll trade 21-inch smallmouth for 8-pound largemouth.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a good trade.
Oh, that's great.
Well,
Obviously,
thanks,
stay on if you can. All right, so getting back to Nevada. So next event, June, Father's Day weekend, right?
Yeah, so the anglers are just going to be able to choose what day they fish, whether it's going to be because it's a holiday weekend, right? So I want to be able to hey, I got plans on Sunday or Saturday or whatever. So anglers will declare what day they're going to go out. They'll fish the same hours period that we would normally fish. It'll be an MLS format just because these ponds are they're 60 bass a day ponds, but 10-inch, 10, 11, 12-inch, they're tiny. So it'll be just a numbers game. The strategy there is you got to pick which body of water you think is going to produce for that tournament. So you can, even if you feel froggy, you can load up and halfway through try a different pond, which might be an hour and a half, 2-hour drive. It just depends on me chasing points right now. I might have to do something shady like that if I get into a pinch. If I drive all the way to one side of the state and find out that there's no fish, we'll see how it goes. But
they're there.
I think it'll be fun. Yeah,
I like that. Good luck.
You're first in your standings, aren't you?
No, not anymore. No, I didn't. This last tournament, I didn't do too good. Even with the limit, I still took 11th. Yeah, so it was a crazy tournament this last one. So,
you're up there.
Yeah, I think I'm in second or third at the moment, but
there you go.
Congrats. It's
nice.
Yeah.
Just
consistent is not my thing. Consistency is not my thing. So
that point system makes it close, right?
It does. Yeah. It's super. Yeah, I really like the way that it played out this year.
It makes people, that have a chance, or even say you just dropped a second, you're still in contention.
Yeah. And then you got that one throwaway too.
Yeah.
So if you miss a tournament, you're not out of it. Like you can literally come back in a couple top 5 finishes, or they're huge.
It makes everybody have to battle for that.
Yeah. I can say without a doubt right now, after having just looked at the AOI standings probably a couple hours ago today, out of the group of probably 16 to 20 of us who are consistently going to these tournaments, it could be up to 7 different people right now.
Yeah.
I think it's legitimately 7 different people could take the AOI.
Yeah.
And we only got 3 tournaments left, and our season's done.
Yeah.
That's nuts, dude. Nice. Well, we're excited. We like Nevada. You guys do a really good job out there. Tight crew. Jerseys are coming, y'all. All right. Believe me. I know that's been a big headache, but we sent the email out. The whole process is different than we've ever done before. We're not making them ourselves this time. And we had to place one order. This is it. It was a 1-order process. That's all we could place. Had to be a big bulk order. That's what took so long. And believe me, y'all, I've been Z-Pro we're patiently working with them, but I got a voice message today saying they should be in this week. It comes in 11 packages. So we'll get them out to you before your last event. I promise. Just have confidence.
It's good things come to those who wait, and you're going to have a shirt that is like none other that we've ever created. Like, I love everything I make. It's great. But, man, this is really next level. And like Frankie said, it was just patient. But, AJ, I got to send you a message, man, because I got some things for you that I just need to complete and send your way. Because I know your Slayers have been really patient and awesome group of guys there. So I want to do a little something for whoever I can.
Yeah.
We've got our
Thank you.
shirts from last season we're using, so we're still good.
I
Yeah.
wore one the other day. Look, man, I got like the original hat
I
here.
go West Coast. I don't have nothing, man.
I know. We'll get you something, Santa. Don't worry. We got you. Christmas is coming to Santa.
All right, all right.
Yeah,
That's
Christmas
true.
is coming to
Famous.
Santa.
That's true. All right.
David, if you don't mind me asking, Paul, I'm sorry. I don't mean to jump in. Frank.
No, go ahead.
David, where you from?
What's that?
Lawrence.
I'm from Fresno, California. I currently live in Madeira.
You were fishing the Iron Man series, last year?
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
I
that's
fished
right.
with
Okay,
you
yeah.
last year.
Yeah,
For
I was
the
like,
with the ABA. I know your name sounds
Yeah.
real familiar.
Yeah, I just put 2 and 2 together with the West Coast shirt. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I think I also fished with you, AJ, back at Havasu, didn't I?
Yep.
For the KBF? Okay, that's
Yep.
what I thought. With Bryce and all those guys, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Look at that. Small world, babies.
Yeah, it is.
Love it. So, all right, let's go to Cali. Dave, why don't you start us off?
Cali. We had our tournament May 21st at Don Pedro. We had 49 registered anglers. 320 fish were submitted.
Ooh.
That's the most we have. I'll just put it in perspective. Our April monthly tournament had 245 overall for the month.
Wow.
And this
Jesus.
tournament in one day put out 320 fish.
Wow.
Is Don Pedro, is that spots or is that largemouth?
It's both.
Both, okay.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Gotcha.
Out of the 49
And
registered,
carp. There's a lot of carp.
Carp?
yeah.
Ugh.
Out of the 49 registered anglers, 38 got limits.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So in third place was Peng Ying. He got 86 3/4 inches.
Mm-hmm.
In second place, here on the screen, Mike Lavoie with 87.5 inches.
All
All
right,
right,
Mike.
Michael.
He's
And
really
his
a
big
northeasterner.
fish was 18 3/4. Mike, before I go to David, do you want to tell the people that are watching and everything how you caught and how your day was?
Sure. First, I like Don Pedro. That's a really nice lake. It's got a lot of different types of structure on it. It's a big lake, so you can really spread out on it. I didn't have any pre-fish on it, so I just kind of went in and I just fished the conditions. In the morning, we had very little wind. The water was dirty, at least where I was. You could probably see maybe a foot and a half. There was a lot of submerged brush and rock in the area I was at. So I went shallow instantly. Through top water, didn't have much luck on top water. Then I went straight to a swim bait, a big swim bait, a mag draft.
Oh,
And
cool.
I was throwing a mag draft and I started getting bit on the mag draft. And the wind slowly started to pick up through the day. And it was kind of interesting because it was opposite. Usually when the wind blows, the water gets dirtier. The water started to become cleaner. And by the end of the day, I had about 4 foot of visibility where I was at.
Oh, wow.
So I just kept reducing the size of the swim bait until I got to like a 3.3 Kitech, and I was throwing that.
Mm-hmm.
And we had mud lines. And where I was, the area that I fished, it had like a small funnel. And I picked that area because I knew where the wind was going to come. And I knew it was going to push water through that funnel. And it was going to make a lot of current. And there was a lot of rock. So I knew those fish were going to ambush off of that rock. And then when that mud line started to form in there, I even became more confident. I threw on an underspin, and I threw a big blade on it. And just so I could get that flash. And once I did that, it was on. It was like a lot. I caught a lot of fish on it.
Nice.
A lot of small fish, but a lot of big fish. And that was pretty much my key bait for the day.
Nice.
Was that-
Mike, quick question. On the Kitech, was it an easy shiner or a swing impact?
It was an easy shiner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a ball head?
Yeah, on a ball head. A little tungsten ball head.
Are you live scoping that or no?
No.
I've seen that like super deadly, like using that as like a live scope tool.
Yeah.
The water
seems
was
like a freaking solid way
honestly,
to-
it started to get this mud line started to get so big in this area that I think the live scope would have worked, but it would have kind of like distorted it. And I didn't even have it on my boat, so it didn't matter.
Gotcha.
But they just set up. they're just hungry. You know, they're post spawn and they want to feed. And they were kind of blowing up around me. They were chasing bait. There was shad coming through. I was literally sitting on one point, and there was like a bunch of rock, and it was kind of like almost like a red, like that red clay, right, mixed in with some white sand with some rocks. And I would sit there and I would watch bass come through, like literally like just a couple giants come through, and I'm like, all right, they're using this area. They're coming through here. They're moving to somewhere. So I just flossed, and I got fish, and I kept reloading, and I kept catching them, and it worked out pretty good.
Hell yeah! Also, did you guys see Scott Martin post that like lubricant or whatever it is that you put it on your bait and it's supposed to help
the active target
live
stuff?
scope or did you see that?
Yeah, I don't know. He's a good salesman though.
Yeah. Oh, he is. He is. He had me sold. I was like, shit, and trying to look it up and shit. I'm like, oh, I can't find it.
They've got baits that are made with that stuff now. Yum has, they're called sonar minnows.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. And I haven't committed to the live scope yet, but I've already started my live scope bait. And this is one of them right here from that dude that runs Fish the Moment. This is all solid, like.
What is that underneath it?
Oh, that's just like to protect the
hook.
It's just
I was like,
yeah.
Was it
the magnet.
Like a Mike Long lure, real quick.
Is it AJ? Is that coated with something special, or?
I think the coating for live scope to make it like special is really just like a thicker, like a clear coat, like basically. I think it's got to be more dense than what it is used on like crankbaits or something like that. It's got to be dense.
Right.
And
okay, I'm going to ask an old man
like,
question here because I don't understand technology very well. But I don't
if you're
run
asking about
live scope.
I don't know
I
either.
run active target. I imagine it would work the same way, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And there's guys who are, like I said, I haven't committed to it yet. I told myself, learn the basics, another 2 more years, and get like learn how to like read like birds and stuff before you start reading.
Seriously, AJ, really, I hardly ever use that active target. The only time I ever have used it was in a situation like on Folsom, where it was you could see 8 feet deep, and the sun was bright, and there was no wind, and the fish wouldn't eat anything. And I threw bait after bait after bait just to see the reaction of the fish. And then when they just showed any interest, I kind of spun off of that. And that was really the only way I could see using it. Other times,
I watched the guys last
it.
year at San V. I did the KBF at San V. I took 6th, and I think everybody 5th place and up they were like, yeah, live scope. You know, and I was just like, oh man.
Fish
well, I got to tell you, Mike, I have active target for my kayak.
Yeah.
But I very seldom put it on because it's such a pain in the
ass
setup. Yeah. So I'm working on a new setup right now.
Yeah.
To make it a little bit easier.
Right.
You know, because I never use it. You know.
I don't want to get to the point where I'm so committed to it that I don't fish the conditions. I just fish the fish. I don't want to chase that video game fish thing.
What I've noticed is the times that I have used it is it takes so much of my time away from fishing.
Yeah, it does.
You know, because you're constantly watching that screen. You know,
right.
So
interesting. Well, that's going to lead us to first place, Mr. David Morris, aka the Kayak Santa.
Right.
First place with 89 inches. And he was the big fish winner of 20 1/4 inch. And he walked away with $1,200 for first place and $310 for big fish. Okay. So for his day, it was $1,500 winnings for the day.
2 nice little trophies to put up on my headboard.
Nice. All right, Dave.
I don't have no more.
And he was the winner of our last event at Eastman. So in a 1 month period, he's walked away with $2,600 in winnings.
Damn.
All right,
Dave. Good job.
Santa's getting a new sleigh.
What's the juice, buddy? What's the juice?
You know?
I want to go back.
That's our year's budget right there.
And give one of our Cali Slayers some credit. Mike, I believe it was in February, right? You went to Florida?
Yes, sir.
And he went out to Florida and did one of the KBF trails out there and got first place.
Right. Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
I like Florida.
Dave, do you want to talk about how your day went on Don Pedro?
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't fished Don Pedro in years because this year the price went up so much. I figured, well, I'm not going to pre-fish it. So I fished over at McClure because the other club I'm in, we had a tournament the day before. So I went ahead and drove over to Pedro that morning and fished it. And I went out and I probably did about a 5.5 mile trip, before I even got my line wet.
All right, why'd you go there, Dave? Dave, why'd you go there?
Why did I go there? Because I knew there was going to be a lot of commotion on the lake.
Okay.
As far as wake boats and jet skis and pontoon boats and all that. So I like getting away from all that stuff.
Gotcha.
So I ran up a creek, and like I said, I went back about 5.5 miles. My first fish was a largemouth, and then I caught a couple spots, and I almost felt bad because they were 10 and 10.5 inches, and I put them on the board.
It works.
They need love.
But I mean,
love,
that's
baby.
what it is,
They need to
Did
meet
you
that
catch
metal.
fish in your first hour?
Yes, sir.
Because my first hour, I had just about 60 fish already submitted in the first hour.
I had that largemouth. I think it was about my fifth cast.
Yeah.
And then I caught those spots right after that. Then I continued to fish down I went back in the 5 mile an hour zone. And so I was out of all the commotion, and I went ahead and went back up the river, and I caught fish, but there wasn't really any quality. And I saw a canyon wall that I wanted to run to, but I looked around. There wasn't no other kayakers around me. So I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and fish this cove. There's a lot of cows back there and a lot of wood and stuff like that. So I went back, fished those cove, and then 2 kayaks came back behind me and went over that canyon wall. I said, oh, crap, snooze, you lose, so I didn't fish that area. But meanwhile, I saw a couple boats running back behind me. I said, well, that's interesting, So I went ahead and went back up river and probably went back about another, half mile or so. Went back in there and I saw a lot of carp. I mean, huge carp back there. I kept working down this riverway and I saw fry, just thousands of fry everywhere, Then I started seeing bass. I started seeing largemouths back there. I guess they were guarding their fry. I didn't know they did that, but So I started fishing that bank and I started throwing into 6-8 inches of water and bam, bam.
What were you throwing, Dave?
I was throwing a Cinco.
Hey,
wacky rig Cinco. That's 95% of the time. That's what I throw. I carry 10 rods on my kayak, but most of the time I'm throwing that Cinco.
Dave, what color?
10 different color Cincos.
I got a tournament next week in there. I'm just taking notes for a friend.
Hey, who else does that? 10 rods and just throw 2.
Yeah, but I started throwing a Cinco back there, and like I said, 6-8 inches of water, and I caught I think an 18.5-inch largemouth.
Mm-hmm.
And then I worked up a little bit more, and I caught a 20 and a quarter inch largemouth. Mm-hmm. When I caught that thing, my hands were doing this thing after taking my pictures.
That's awesome.
So, and then I ended up pulling another one out of that area.
Nice.
Like I said, it was full of carp. There was, matter of fact, there was a guy back there carp shooting.
Oh, get out of here. Grass carp?
Pardon me?
Are they grass carp? They put those in there on purpose?
I have no idea. Those things are huge.
In Connecticut, they do that to get rid of.
They were big. I just got back from the Delta. I went to the Delta day before yesterday. And I kid you not, Frankie, the bass out there are the size of my leg. And I'm a 6-foot guy.
Yeah.
I mean, these things were huge out there.
Jesus.
But anyhow, getting back from Pedro, yeah. So that's kind of how my day in. I threw a Cinco, I threw a Nico, a chatterbait, a spinnerbait. When I started coming back out onto the main lake where all the commotion was going on, I was running into mud lines. So that's when I started throwing something with a little bit more flash to it, like a chatterbait.
Mm-hmm.
spinner bait, you know.
Yep.
Right.
I tried drop shotting, but I'm not a big drop shotter.
Yep.
It got all tangled up and broke me off. I said, "Oh well, I'm done with that for the day."
Did you get bit on the chatterbait, Dave?
I had followers. I never got bit on the chatterbait. I did get bit on the spinnerbait.
I threw a chatterbait too to see if I could get it bit, and they followed it in. They wouldn't eat it either.
Yeah, I couldn't get nobody to commit on it. You know, I went back away from everybody. That's how I like to fish, is away from everybody.
Did you guys, Mike and Dave, did you guys use any underspins or top spins?
I tried an underspin for a while, but I didn't get no followers on it. But I don't throw it that often.
Yeah,
I caught most of my decent fish on an underspin with a really big blade.
Did you?
Is that right?
Like a quarter, like what's not a quarter, like 5/16.
Yeah,
with a really
Were
big
you
blade.
were you running that on the bottom, or was that something that you were doing like
shallow, super shallow?
Oh yeah,
yeah, like right in that mud line, just real shallow.
Right.
Yeah.
What for us East Coast guys? What causes the mud line? Is it just a change in current, or like I see mud lines when
all
I'm
the
fishing
boats and
saltwater.
stuff out there, and the wakes splashing
The-
against the bank and stuff like that. That causes a big mud light out there.
So when, like Dave said, so the waves are hitting the shore, and then the current that's being formed from the wind then carries that mud and kind of pushes it out more towards this, away from the bank, and you get this big
You
line
can
of mud.
throw out right on the edge of the mud line, where the mud line meets the clearer water.
Yeah.
And oh man, you just get spanked.
They set up on as like an ambush point, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, we had some of that conditions kind of over here with Lake Mead also, and we don't get that very often. But once they started flooding our lake with the water, and they gave us some of that dirty water, I kind of started seeing some of that too. But one thing that I saw that I'd never seen before was, or even heard, was like as I was fishing, like debris was falling into the water because that soil was becoming so like wet, and it was becoming areas that haven't been wet in a year, and it was like really like falling into the water, and with that there's mud lines. And the one
we're getting a lot of that this year because our water has been, like everybody else, has been so low, and now we're getting all this water, so we're getting a lot of mud that's getting mixed up and stuff like that.
And
hey,
brush.
it's been great, man. Bring more water this way. I'm happy with it.
and a lot of brush, because that water's rising. Those fish are in that brush. They love that stuff. They're just in it. It can be just 6-8 inches tall. They'll just get right in it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, like Dave was saying, I won Eastman last month, and the way I did that is the water was rising, and I was going to these freshly submerged islands that the water was fresh and green, the grass was fresh and green. It just gone under the water, and they were slamming it there, But now it's all brown and stringy, and it's kind of a pain in the rear to fish.
Some of our lakes right now, they're fluctuating because they're releasing a lot of water, anticipating still a lot of the snow melt. So it's causing some, so yeah. Well, good stuff, Dave. Now,
thank you. I probably talked too much. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, that's all right.
Good job, Dave. Good
job.
It's
a podcast thing. I don't know.
Over here, if you see to the right of your screen, we got Max Lee. He's
all right, Max.
He's our April monthly winner. For the month of April, he won. He had 97 1/4 inch.
Okay.
And in that total, he had his 24-inch big bass.
24-inch? Jesus.
24
Wow.
That's a toad, man.
That's pretty awesome.
How your month went and how you caught that big fish?
Giant.
So basically that big fish came from me fishing in the Native No Limit Power Hour event.
Yeah.
So
don't you say Cinco, man.
It was a Cinco. I learned.
All right.
I learned from the best, from Mr. David Morris. So just green pumpkin black. So just basically, I did the exact same thing that Mr. Morris did as well. It was at New Malones, and I ran all the way to the back of a creek arm where these fish were basically pushing up bait into the back to feed. These were post spawners that were just trying to feed up to basically get back offshore after they're done feeding. And, quite frankly, I just got lucky because I wasn't on a really big fish pattern. You know, I caught a bunch of 14s and 15s, and then I threw the Cinco out and I dead stick in the same exact spot, and then a 24-incher picked it up. You know, it was, you know, no rhyme or reason.
Lucky, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
just right place, right time. Yeah.
What pound test are you using?
I run a 10-pound braid to a 10-pound fluorocarbon.
Yeah.
From what I found, the fluorocarbon, because they can't see fluorocarbon, honestly. So, you know, if you could go heavier, go heavier. But I wouldn't recommend going.
Man, they can.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend going too heavy because it will affect the fall rate of the Cinco.
Right, yeah.
But you know, that's just my normal setup on a owner wacky rig hook.
Did you 24-inch for the Cali onliner? Now, did that bass also win you money with the big bass thing?
Oh yeah, he got.
Yes, yeah. So actually, I got paid out an hour, and then I also won a Native Slayer Max 10, and yeah.
So you want cash? How much did you win for that fish?
You don't want to brag too much, and I'll put him out there a little bit.
Yeah, put it out there. I want to hear.
That's one of 2 kayaks he's won so far this year.
Wow.
You've won 2 kayaks?
I want to be like you when I grow up, Max.
Jesus.
And every time he says that he's lucky, it's like, how's lucky? It's not lucky anymore, Max. We're on you, brother.
Yeah. Awesome. Once is lucky, twice is a pattern.
That's right.
That's true. That's true.
He's got a couple wins under his belt, a couple kayaks so far this
season. Does he buy lottery tickets?
Awesome. Right?
I really should.
Can you could send some of your saliva over here? I need to drink some. I don't know. I need some winning juices. You can start selling your spit.
Oh, here comes the cramp, Craig.
Yeah.
Cranky the cramp.
Don't say that because it's been on my mind this whole
bill juice.
Podcast.
Right.
Yeah. Nice. Well, obviously, even us. See, here's the cool thing. This is why I love some of the things that we got going on, because we have just very few East Coasters on here and the rest from the West. But here's the thing. A lot of us pay attention to this whole kayak industry, right? So I know, Max, I've heard of you, obviously, and you're having, and Damien, and obviously, and so like I follow what you got going on, and so what's next, man? What's next for Max, dude? What's your next event coming up? Like, what are you traveling anywhere outside of Cali?
Well, right now I'm actually in Utah, but it's more for a family function than it is for a fishing event.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, no, I wish. I actually wanted to go down and hit a Sand Hollow on my way back home.
Oh, nice.
But
Sand Hollow's a good time. Me and Elric know about Sand Hollow well, huh?
Yeah, I know about Sand Hollow too. I've never been there, but I've heard stories, so I wanted to actually fish it. Yeah,
small fish, but if you want confidence in any bait in the world, that's the place you go.
Yeah, but for now, basically, I'm trying to fish as many local trails as I can, fish as many kayak tournaments as I can. A lot of guys don't know, but this is actually just my first year, so I'm
first year of what?
5 tournament fishing. So I'm like 5 months in. I want to say
what? 5 months in, you got 2 free kayaks.
I know, Jesus.
Yeah.
This guy's
that's pretty nice.
I don't believe your ass. I don't believe it.
You
yeah.
came in 6 at
That's
Don
awesome.
Pedro with 86 1/4 inch. Do you want to talk about your day at Don Pedro?
Damn.
Yeah, sure. So I knew the fish were going to be post-spawn because we had a lot of warmer weather. So me personally, I love fishing offshore. So I did the exact opposite of David Morse. I actually ran offshore and fought all the wake boaters, and I fished slow tapering granite points, and I was catching them speed cranking. So I was throwing a tactical DD crank, the 75, and I was burning it and pausing it, just like how the videos say.
Yeah.
And I would pause it, and they would smoke it, and then I caught them doing that. I caught them throwing a rig. I caught them throwing a LV500. I caught them throwing a football jig. Just about everything that I wanted to throw at them. I also caught them on a hair jig, all offshore stuff that's close to the ledge.
What's an LV500?
It's an awesome.
It's a jig.
It's a lucky. It's a Lucky Craft lipless.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
It's almost like a rattle
yeah,
trap. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
yep.
yeah.
It's a
Basically,
lipless.
a rat trap. Yeah, and the way I was working the lipless is not too many people do it, but I was throwing onto the ledges and I was slow dragging it, so it would just kick, and then it would fall right off on the side of the ledge, almost like you would do with a hair jig, and they would thump it as it's falling. I would maintain a constant tight line on it instead of
Yeah.
slack, giving it slack to fall straight down. I would let it pendulum it down instead,
Okay.
and that's how I was triggering my bites, and that was really it. I stayed offshore for like 6 hours of the day, and then the mud lines really picked up. And just like Mike and David, I started fishing the mud lines with underspin, the A rig. I also threw the mag draft as Mike did as well,
Yeah.
but I couldn't get any bites on the mag draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
See,
got
guys,
that's
Mike,
what was different for me, Max, is when those largemouth would hit, they wouldn't hit. I mean, it was just you were dragging it, and you could feel tension on there. You know, the spots
Yes.
they would tick it, but those largemouth
Yes.
they just pick it up and engulf it.
Yeah,
And
that's
start
what I
pulling the
noticed.
line in, and you gotta
Mike,
Yeah, that's
Matt,
what I.
were you guys using your swim baits to lure them out?
Yeah, like I said, I started with the mag draft, and then I was using one of my swim baits, a little bit smaller one, and then I went to that Kitech after. But yeah, I'd see them; they'd follow that mag draft, and they'd follow my swim bait, and they'd hit the tails. But and then I had a few commit, some decent fish commit, so I was happy with it.
If you guys don't
I've
mind
got
giving
some
us
of those
just
mag
a little
drafts,
bit,
but I've never thrown them.
after they follow it, what would you throw out after?
After that, I throw the smaller swim bait. I just throw one smaller, and they'd eat it because they were interested, obviously, but they're just, I don't know. I felt like they're like, oh, it may be too big or whatever. You know, what is this? And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, here comes another one. Let's just eat this guy. So yeah,
there you
go. For me, I was throwing the mag draft because it was at the end of the day, and I was trying to get a bigger bite. So that's why I was throwing it. Which funny, I saw Frankie put up that KGB Chad.
Yeah.
I actually had a tournament, the same tournament that Mr. David Morse and Mike fished as well, the other trail, and I lost 2 Chads to some fish that cost me cashing a check on that other event. So I actually wanted to throw the Chad instead of the mag draft, but I just didn't. I didn't have one in the box, so
oh man,
that really hurt me. Yeah.
Now, Mike, did you fish McClure the day before?
I did. I didn't have a very good day at McClure. I went offshore like Max did, and I was dragging a sea rig, and because there was a lot of fish on a sunken island, I found I'd say it's like maybe 250 yards offshore, and it went up to about 8 feet, and then there was another island right next to it that went up to about 12 feet, and they were perfect. And I was dragging it, and I just couldn't land any big fish. It's like all the fish I was able to land were all smaller fish, and I was really frustrated in that event. So I was kind of focused on Don Pedro.
For some of you guys watching and ones on here, I'm sure David and Max, you guys fished McClure too the day before.
Yes,
sir. But there was a lot of rats at McClure. Matter of fact, when I was fishing Pedro that morning, I said, "Who brought all them rats over here?"
These guys and a few other anglers. There was a tournament with Yakka Bass the previous day at a lake that's about 15 minutes away from Don Pedro.
Yeah.
So they toughed it out Saturday, fished McClure, and then they headed over to Don Pedro and fished our tournament. Jesus. And so they had 2 days of some pretty good solid fishing.
You know, David, I think
California has tournaments every single day. It seems like we're over here struggling to get like one a month.
I'm retired. I camped, man. I think I fished for 4 days.
Yeah. Last weekend, California was loaded up on tournaments last weekend.
Yeah. We had a lot of tournaments going that weekend.
I probably had maybe 12 to 15 members that were fishing other circuits that weekend.
Yeah.
Hey, David, I think
sir.
that I think a lot. The other David, I think that a lot of people appreciated that, being able to fish one event with one and then another event the next day, and being so close together. You know, almost like a partnership. I think a lot of guys kind of really appreciated that and being able to do that. And I'm hoping that we can see more of that next year. That would be really great.
That was nice, them being so close together. I mean, it wasn't,
when I was
it was
doing
only
the
20,
scheduling,
25-minute drive.
Yeah. Because we came on late this season, starting our season. So I seen everybody's schedule already because they had their schedule put out. And I seen that there was a couple lakes like I did with you guys with Eastman. You guys were at New Maloney's the day before. I figured that was kind of within a 45-minute drive of each other. So people that wanted to head over and camp and then go over to Eastman or to camp out Maloney's and head over. And then I seen Yakabass have McClure on Saturday. And I was like, well, some guys that want to fish a good weekend and, get a couple tournaments under their belt for the weekend, I went ahead and scheduled Don Pedro on a Sunday. So you guys had the opportunity to fish 2 tournaments on a weekend that were within 15 minutes of each other.
Yeah,
that was cool. I fished Maloney's. I drove up from Madera and fished Maloney's, about a 2-hour drive.
Yeah,
and came back and then went and fished Eastman the next morning. I think I slept half the day. I just threw my line out and let it sink.
Well, after Eastman, when I left, my transmission went out of my truck.
Yeah,
Ouch.
that's right. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
So,
oh my God, nice.
Well, thank you, Dave. Thank you for everything you're doing for us, buddy.
Oh, you're welcome. And I try to do the best to my abilities to provide for you guys. I think you guys seen some of the stuff that I put out today, what we got going on for next year also. Kind of, put that out there. There's no set dates, no set lakes, but just to give the people idea of what we have going forward.
A little teaser.
Yeah. California is going to be split up in 3 regions next year. So I'm going to give more opportunities to the slayers to, I can see on my roster where a lot of people are from, and I think it's only fair next season to give back to them that I give them regions.
I'm looking forward to doing some traveling.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that because I wish I could fish for AOY this year. And this was my first event with Slay, and I just can't. Yeah. And I think that maybe when you have those regions, I think someone like me that can't travel so much sometimes with my family, so I'll be able to take advantage and possibly get a shot at AOY.
That was the nice thing about the ABA last year is they had Southern Cal and Northern Cal. Yeah. So you traveled to Southern Cal, and I think I fished 2 events there, and I fished 3 events here. So it was interesting.
The thing is, especially like a lot of people back east, I don't think they realize how big California is. Right. When I have a couple SoCal guys come up to just the Central California lakes, they're driving 6 to 7 hours just to get to that lake. And that's not even if I was to put a lake up at Shasta or Trinity, that would be probably a 9-10 hour drive for them, and they're still in California.
Right.
Yeah. I was driving on the East Coast last year, and it was 7.5
you could drive through 4 states, in that. So that's why I'm going to be fair to them next year, and they're deserving of it, and break up in regions for them.
Yeah. When I hear y'all say, "Hey, we got a member driving 6 hours to come fish a local event," I'm like, "That's not local. That's vacation." We drive like 6 hours. I can get from here to past Cheryl's house, and I'm in Connecticut. Like that's I think that's like the thing some people don't remember is like y'all travel so far. It's like it's almost absurd, to be quite honest, right? Like just in hindsight, it's like nobody should have to travel, plus
when
2
you
hours.
When you do the math on it,
it's crazy.
David Morris brought up the ABA last year. Well, Elric and I, we fished a couple of the ABAs last year. We went out to Lake Paris and we camped and we did a 2-day, and ABS stacked on top of some of those tournaments. So that's another $250 on top of a $250 entry. Now you're paying $500, and then the local club's like, we're gonna do another. You're paying $750 for an entry fee. Drove 5 hours away. And then even if you won your investment, like your return on investment is not right? So just anybody out there has dreams or aspirations of doing this full time for a living.
Yeah, but it's all for the fun of it, AJ. It's not all about the money. For the fun
not
of it.
Not at all. Yeah. That's right. And that's as soon as people realize that, it becomes way better sport than what it already is.
It's just what I do. I enjoy it, you know.
Same.
Hey, but that's why kayak anglers are so friendly to the new guys, you know, because we want to grow our sport and we want to make sure that everybody catches fish so that we can have bigger tournaments. Right. And it's different from the boat bass guys, you know that, right? You know, they're very tight-lipped, but we want to share our knowledge and get more people to enjoy the fun. Like, especially here in Nevada, a main thing for us is like the night before where we get to go and, you know, just hang out, have some food, have some drinks. That's the other part that's
the big thing, Rick, is, you know, you're not only fishing, but you're camping with these guys and having food and you know, drinking beer, enjoying yourselves, you know.
Yeah,
exactly.
So this brings up a good question that I wanted to bring up, right, with this specific group is, right, with like kayak obviously the kayak fishing industry is like, where do y'all see the kayak tournament scene going? Like, because not for nothing, like it is growing, but what I'm saying is, you think people are going to be more concentrated on the bigger trails, right, the national trails, or just like really building these local clubs? Because it seems like some of the numbers, like I think, is it Bass Nation or Hobie? I forgot which one. Who's that Possum Kingdom coming up?
That's Bassmaster.
But their numbers aren't like. I don't think they're like where they've been, or even with some like one of the Hobies, it's like not maxing out. Like last year.
I mean, yeah. What do you guys? I think honestly, like, times are tough right now, right? Like, in order, like I was saying, $250 for an entry fee. Like, these are big events, you know. Like, they're qualifiers for the Classic or the NC. Like, so I think like the bigger organizations are going to steer away some of the people who are like, yo, I'm just trying to go fish and camp and drink beer and hang out with the guys. I think those guys are really going to find the happiness in the club side of things, and I think that they're going to stick with clubs. And I really think that you'll see the sport on the West Coast plateau here in the next probably year or 2 years. I think that you'll see the growth blow up a little bit, and then I think it'll flatline. I think that it'll stay pretty constant, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't see like the big entities like Bass is trying to come out west for sure. They already got Arizona, they got California. I think that they're going to try to get established out west.
Yeah.
I don't see Hobie investing in the West. I don't see them. I don't think that that's their wheelhouse. I don't think that they're interested in that. And I don't think that KBF right now, with the way that things are going, whether or not you're following that or not, I don't know if they're. I think that they're steering people away from the big name brand situations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I got an invite the other day to fish one of these bigger circuits, and I don't know if I want to go there. I enjoy fishing the kind of, I guess they're good sized circuits, but they're more local, you know, because you see the same people over and over, and you get to knowing people and you know, having food with them and just BSing, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, and I don't see that in the big circuits. I mean, when I used to fish big boats, I did that, and it was like, you know, you didn't have the camaraderie that you do in the local kayak scene.
Yeah.
Right. And you kind of know why that is. So I came from the saltwater side, kayak saltwater, before I got into bass. And when you go out and fish saltwater, it's like you're looking out for the other guy. It's just you stop everything. Everyone stops everything, and they just go and they rescue. Right.
Yeah.
And that kind of follows suit, I think, no matter what kind of kayak event you are in, fresh or salt.
Right.
Boaters don't really. They're not like, you know what I mean. They're going to help, but it's not the same.
We know
the risks, right?
At Millerton, where the day before the tournament, Anthony Nordstrom, he got flipped by a bass boat.
That's right.
And the bass boat took off, and then a couple kayak anglers, you know, went to his rescue, and then eventually one bass boat, you know, came over, but you know, they just look at us like, oh, you guys are just, you know, ramp roaches.
Ramp roaches.
So, you know,
but you know, I love nothing more than going into a cove after a boat leaves and just catching two or three, pissing them off.
Hey, talk on the commotion that happened at the boat ramp before launch, because I was up at the check-in breaking down,
That was a bunch of craziness.
I was hearing all you guys yelling out there, and was some boat
I've
waking
got
you guys?
into it with multiple boaters. Yeah.
We won't go there. This is all. That was all negative. We won't go there.
Yeah. Well, I know. Donald Bailey. He was fishing Almanor the other day, and I guess he got swamped not once but twice. It ended up frying his yak power and all sorts of stuff. You know,
Oh, wow. That's
it's ridiculous. So,
I think the tournament scene. I think all of us directors, have to take a step back and look. I think we just got this big old frenzy during the pandemic because there was nothing to do. Right. So kayak fishing and outdoors, there was something to do. Because I'm noticing, there's a lot of kayaks. If you go on like Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp, they're starting to be more for sale. So I think
there's a lot out there.
A lot of people are now going back to work. They're not at home as much, like they were during the pandemic. So they don't have that time. And I think also at the same time, some of these circuits raise the prices to take advantage.
Right.
And I think they need to take a step back and see that, hey, I get it. There was a lot of interest at first, but I think the people are speaking and stepping back a little bit. And there need to be some, adjustments on prices on entries and stuff like that, So this is my opinion. And also in the industry, man, kayaks the past 2 years had a real high spike in prices. And
everything had a high spike.
Yeah. So now I think you kind of put people on that level that before might have said, well, why can't I just go get a used bass boat for around the same price? And now kayak prices just kind of went up a little bit more. And they're like, well, why don't I just go get a boat?
Hey, well, I'm going to keep fishing old Big Sexy here until she don't float no more.
There you go.
I just think we just have to.
Are we talking about a kayak here? No, I was kidding.
Yeah, that's her name. Her name's Big Sexy.
Big Sexy. So
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a label on the back that says Big Sexy, man.
Dave,
I love it.
Dave, I think
it's not me, it's her.
Hey, Dave, I think you make a good point, and I know I'm on the Slay Nation thing here, but I'm going to bring up another circuit, and James at Yakabas kind of does a really good job of kind of fulfilling that in regards to if you want to roll in the big money, here's an option.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you just want to come have fun, and here's a simple, cheap entry.
An option too. Yeah.
Right.
Does a great job, man.
Yeah. So I think that when circuits do something like that, it brings in a larger audience because everyone can come play.
Yeah. So you give those options.
When you say Yakabas, they offer like a bigger option. What do they offer? Like, what do they do?
So they have something called a yak pot, which is first, second, third. So it's a completely separate thing. And I think it's like,
which is an option.
How much is it? Like $70, $50?
Something like that. I think they may have just raised it to $100, Mike.
Yeah. So the rollers that want in can jump in. It's kind of like a pro side, but but everybody's still fishing together. So and then you have the standard entry, which I think is 60. And then you have your big bass, and then you have actually your big bass pot, and then a big bass small pot too. So there's two big bass pots.
Well, they had that before, and I think they just voted that out. Now they just got one.
Now just one.
I like the small and the big option.
Yeah.
What does Yakabas bring as far as attendance for average?
100. Over
100 plus anglers.
Yeah.
Are those opens?
They're one of the biggest and loyal.
They're OG. I've been following them for a while, and I spoke to James and Marvin and stuff like that. I got to know them a little bit over Facebook and stuff, but I've never been able to fish any of their events. I really want to, but
are those open events?
AJ, he cooked for us too, man. He barbecued.
There is an AOI system.
You just put some money in the tip jar, man. He cooks for everybody.
So you get some really unique. So you get a team tournament, right? You get an AOI race for the standard series. You get a couple opens, and then they kind of jump on with KBF, and they have the West Coast Championship,
for the West Coast Championship. You know?
Right.
Elric
Nice
actually
shirt.
fished that
Nice
last year,
shirt,
right?
Dave.
Good.
Yeah, we sent him up from Nevada to go fish that.
Yeah. Well, you know, we fished Clear Lake yesterday or last year.
Is that on the mend or is it still pretty?
Did you
pretty
fish
rough?
that last year? How'd you do?
Don't bring up Clear Lake.
Oh, you won it
Oh,
last year. Oh, there you go.
I'm looking forward to it this year because the water's up. Mike, how'd you do at Clear Lake last year? It was tough for me.
I didn't do
It
so
was
good.
tough.
My battery died. I had some electrical issues, so I came in late and I lost a bunch of points.
It was tough, man.
Is it on the mend now, or is it still pretty rough fishery? I heard that there was like some
I
issues.
haven't been there. I'm looking forward to going back though.
It's good. It's on the mend. It's doing real well.
Yeah.
It's going to need a couple of years to get back to 4 years ago the way it was.
If a guy down south and all the way in Nevada wanted to make their way up to Clear Lake or Delta, what would you recommend?
Clear Lake. Delta.
Clear Lake.
Yeah,
I just fished the Delta yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
And I caught 10 fish, but it was a tough bite. You know.
Yeah.
Was it?
The fine.
It should be wide open, and
there wasn't quality like there is at Clear Lake.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to fishing Clear Lake. And I understand Shasta's full too.
Oh yeah, they're releasing right now.
Yeah.
Hey, AJ, if you got a buddy that's coming up, I would tell him to go to Lake Berryessa. That lake is ridiculous. There's been multiple 24-inch fish caught during tournaments there. Like,
no kidding.
It's good giants, and numbers
too.
Yeah,
because I listen to a lot of podcasts and I'm always following the stuff. And kayak bass fishing at this point in time is either California or Texas East, right? So I hear about Clear Lake, Delta, Berryessa, Balones. I hear about all you guys' fisheries, and I'm like, oh, where do I want to go? Because I can't do Chickamauga, Gunnersville, the Harris Chain, all these cool places that I hear about on these freaking podcasts. I'm like, I got Lake Mead, Lake Mojave, Havasu, like my treat when I get to like leave town for a little bit, and like. So if I had a hit list of what lake I wanted to fish in California, you think would you say Berryessa?
If you go to California, go to Clear Lake, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it is.
AJ, you haven't been to Clear Lake?
It's not clear at all. It's not clear at all.
Don't get the name confused. It is opposite of what the name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to check that out.
Your kayak can come out and it'll be all green and mucky and stuff.
But what's cool about it? It's one of the biggest natural lakes, and it's really not that deep.
No, it's not.
Well, I've heard rumors that you guys it's like whatever you want to do, go fish your strength. Like
seriously,
go to a chatterbait, go to a chatterbait,
it is
drop shot.
It is. You have grass, you have rock, you have flats,
you got docks,
you have
skip
wood.
under. You got all
down here. It's like
stuff out there, man. You got islands. You got
you could have a wall like this of 10 fishing rods, but you're using a drop shot and a freaking wacky rig most of the day.
Yeah.
Oh, I carry 10 rods on my kayak, and I probably use 2 or 3 all day long. But they're there if I need them.
Right.
They look pretty on there.
Yeah.
Slay Ray, what do you got going on? What's going on tomorrow?
We are at Merrill Creek for the second kayak series in Pennsylvania. I mean, it's not technically in Pennsylvania. Our Pennsylvania has our second event. This one's at Merrill Creek in New Jersey. It's going to be a good one, man. It's on fire right now.
Tell them why you're not even in Pennsylvania right now.
So Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth does not allow you to fish target bass until after spawn. So June 10th this year is when bass legally opens.
Really?
That's
cannot target them, huh?
That's smart.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's smart.
I don't know that our fisheries are getting any better.
Yeah, you guys come to
California.
Come on over here. We'll have a campfire and shoot shit for a while.
Drink some whiskey and be fine.
Listen, I'd love to get out there.
Frankie, hey,
come out and see us.
Slay Ray on the way. Come out in October for the Best of the West.
Yeah, Frankie, we want to see you out here this year, buddy.
You don't want me over there. I'm an animal. I'm an animal.
Come on.
All right. I will terrorize California.
Gerald, you come out and see us too, love.
The weekend of October 27th to the 29th. Come on out.
October 27th to 29th?
Yeah, I know where I'll be.
Is that when it's Clear Lake? Is that Clear
Lake?
Lake?
That TOC is at Clear Lake.
Yeah.
That's going to be good. That's going to be really good.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it.
And I got the opportunity because when I was doing permits at first, they were holding me off. And then I got a call from the North region and they're like, hey, do you still want to submit for that Clear Lake? I was like, am I going to be able to get those dates? They're like, yep. I'm like, let's do it.
We're on it.
Nice.
Good.
Let's do it.
You're on, Dave.
Yeah, we'll see. We'd like to do something at some point with Slay Nation. We'd like to do a something national, right? At least got to try it once just to see.
Yeah.
And that's why I was asking like the future,
like that,
the future of the kayak. I mean, right? I'm a John Boat guy, right? I direct our small vessel series. That's how Slay Nation started, the John Boat kayak canoe circuit. But like it seems like, and I agree with AJ. Like it's going to be a lot of local club concentration, I think, moving forward. But I also think like what. Bass Nations. I mean, not even Bass Nation, but I think like if we were able to continue to build our local clubs throughout the country, and then Slayers in the kayak series earn a qualification to a national championship, right? So you still keep it local, but you just have one big event that hopefully they could save up money for to travel for that one national championship instead of, traveling to Hobie BOS this weekend. Then next, I want to go fish Bass Nation this weekend. Now you know what I mean? So it's not as a hurt on the wallet.
If one major circuit, was to say, hey, look, because a lot of East Coast circuits, like Hobie, for example, and they have a good thing going, they won't come over to the West Coast because we didn't put out numbers for them.
Yeah.
But sometimes.
But I think that argument is old, right? Because it's like the sport wasn't even established out here when they did that. So that argument is like outdated, right?
Yeah. So I think if there was one set major circuit that reached out to all local clubs and said, hey, look, this is what our qualifications are for nationals. You guys, put those standards forward for us and go by those standards to get your qualifications. At your end of your AOI or end of your season, you're allowed this many to qualify from your club, and you can send them to a national championship. And I just think they just need to kind of rotate the national championship kind of between the East to the West, maybe, in the middle, and offer that opportunity, and we could use Bass Nation as the example and say, hey, you're going to be the premier national championship of kayak championships.
Yeah.
And all the local clubs, and not just their Bass Nation clubs, but all clubs, they reach out and say, hey, we're going to give you 5 qualifiers from your TOC or from your AOY, and they'll be allowed to go to the national championship. Yeah.
Almost like what KBF used to do, right? But they just kept it in Florida every year, I feel, or
that's why I said I think they need to rotate it, across,
No, yeah, I agree. I think you got to spread the love if you're gonna try to, if you're gonna try to grow this sport, you got to try to cater to everybody. You can't just cater to one section.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that the argument East versus West is always in the conversation, but I think that there's probably folks up in Minnesota right now that are like, hey, we're in the same position.
I know. Yeah.
Nevada, right? Like, so like, I'm sure those guys would love an opportunity.
Yeah.
That's like that. So it really should be like 4 regions, right?
Yeah.
It should be like,
So
I think growing pains, right? The sport is still pretty young, and I think that we're in a good spot with growth the way that it is right now, as long as everybody kind of keeps a good, I'm seeing a lot of things on like Facebook and stuff like that. There's a lot of like gripes and complaints, and everybody's everybody wants to be the premier right now, and
just go out and enjoy yourself.
Exactly. Take a page out of Dave Morris's book.
Yeah, just go out and enjoy yourself. Life's too short the way it is, man.
The cream will always rise to the top.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's true. You just keep your head down and keep hustling, keep slaying.
When I started Slay Nation, when Frankie gave me the green light, behind back doors, I was told, hey, you're going to be lucky if you get 20, maybe 25 anglers. Someone told me that their circuit's going to be the most relevant circuit, in California. I wasn't going for all that glamour. I just wanted.
But that's a club director versus club director, or team versus team, right? Because as an angler, if I have the option to fish, the first Saturday, the second Saturday, the third Saturday, the fourth Saturday of the month, and they're all with different clubs, I'm going to be at the first, the second, the third, and the fourth, right? Or maybe if there's a club that just doesn't put on a good event, then I will go with that one. But if there's opportunities to go and fish. I mean, ask Elric. I go to California, Arizona, Utah, Nevada. Like, I just want to fish. Like, I don't think the anglers care about this. Like,
yeah.
Well, and that's my whole mission, is to give anglers opportunities, more opportunities, and give back. You know, I'm not out there to make this the pro circuit in California. I want everybody to be able to go out, enjoy, hang out with other fellow anglers, also be affordable, and just enjoy your day fishing. That's what we're all out there to do, is fish, enjoy it, and have fun.
Yeah.
Dave,
Well,
I hear you. And you know what's funny is you come out and you say that, but nobody believes you. They're like, no, you're gunning to be the best. You want to be the next Bassmaster.
Everybody wants to have a good product.
I get
right. We want us to succeed, but we're
Absolutely.
not striving to be the top dog. We're happy with our niche. We want it to grow, and we want the sport to grow. And people just don't believe it. They're like, no.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that's why that's how Slay Nation started. Like when I first started this, the amount of, of course you get the hate, right? That just comes with the territory. So like it doesn't bother me at first. It used to. Like I can't tell you how many forums Slay Nation would be posted on. I'm talking 250 comments on, hey, you guys see this Slay Nation? Like, we were in KBN, right? And I like KBN. I like Jeff and Ryan and all them. But when we first started, I remember some dude in there said, what do you guys think about this Slay Nation? And everybody was, oh, it's a fad. Oh, it's this, it's that. And this was like, 4 years ago. And so, you just don't comment. I just, whatever. Okay, go ahead, comment.
Here you are today, Frank. You're doing a great job.
And I appreciate it. But like, we're not trying to be the best kayak series. We're not trying to be the best John boat series. We're trying to provide opportunities. That's why we have 6 different circuits. We don't, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, we're all trying to be the best directors we can be. You're right. Yeah. You don't play to lose. You play to win, right? But at the same time, what we try to do here is give a big organizational feel with a grassroots style. Absolutely. Right? So like we all fish our local clubs, but at the same time, when you say, hey, I'm a part, that's why I call it Slay Nation, because I wanted it to be more than just Connecticut. Yeah. And so like you feel a part of something bigger, right? But even though you're just fishing your local club, you know what I'm saying? And so we just cater to, like, our tagline is bringing fun back to tournament fishing. Right. And how do you do that? It's just like what we're all talking about. That's what a club is. Like that's how Slay Nation all started, was when I remember being 13, 14 years old. You walk in the Bass Pro or a tackle shop, you see, an older gentleman with the Bass Club jacket. They always had those shinies, like starter jackets that had their Bass Club on there, right? That a club, you're usually a part of it for 10, 20, 30 years sometimes, right? That's a club, right? And that's the difference between a club and what we're trying to do. And nothing against opens, they're great. But we didn't want to be an open series, right? Yes, we can provide an open event here or there, right? That's totally cool. But that's what we try to do, is we're trying to bring fun back to tournament fishing. That's why we do things like this. That's why we provide some prize packs for people that don't catch anything, right? And try to make it fun and do the whole jersey thing and try to make you feel like, a jersey, people are like, oh yeah, well, you don't want to be professional. No, but when people wear a jersey, like we used to do them with the last names, when you got your last name on the back of a shirt, you feel freaking cool, man. Yeah. Right. But you're just fishing a local club. You know what I'm saying?
You're putting our names on our jerseys, Frankie?
No, we used to do that, David. You're too late.
Okay.
What? You're too late. Yeah. We used to do that.
I'm out.
Right there.
I'm out of here.
Right there.
Yeah, there's Slay Ray. Slay Ray is the one that used to do it. He did.
Oh, Slay Ray's got it. Okay, all right.
Last year he made over 1,000 jerseys. Last names. We're not doing that this year because we couldn't do it because Z-Pros.
Slay Ray made these right here.
Slay Ray.
Well, I heard on a podcast last night Max Lee was going to have something with a fish and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something like that.
Max. We can get that made for you, Ray. I'll work with you. I watched that podcast.
Yeah, please
I know what we're looking for. We can make that happen. No doubt about it.
We'll get together.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get you something, dude. No doubt about it. If we know about branding and marketing people, we got you. We got you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, but that's like we're just trying to, right? We're the everyday anglers turning into everyday slayers, right?
I take constructive criticism from my anglers because I want to eval and see what, going forward, what to do to make the series run smoother.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually these three guys that are on here, I've had talks behind the doors with them, and taking in some of their,
we don't beat you up, David. Come on now.
Oh, hey, but it's all good, Well, we've had our argument. Well, I wouldn't say argument, but we had our issue.
Talks.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. We're all adults. We can talk.
And we can agree to disagree.
That's
and
right.
then,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, listen. During Christmas time, I'm expecting some of the Cali Slayers to be sitting on your lap, David. I need like Christmas pics. We get California Santa. Think about that.
All right. I'll put lights on Big Sexy. How's that?
It's not a bad idea.
Don't give me ideas, man.
Slay Nation calendar.
Nevada's not doing no Christmas cards or anything like that.
People
we'll
will
leave
beat
that
the
to
line at Bass
California.
Pro.
Oh, that's funny. All right, boys. Well, listen, it's and ladies. It is. Yeah, we've been on here almost 2 hours. I don't want to keep anybody too late. So here's what we'll do. I want to go around, give everybody their due diligence to shout out whoever the hell you want to shout out. Now, here's the thing: we had our college Slay Nation series. This is the first kind of regional series we've ever ran. Right? It's very similar to like doing a Hobie, for example, right, or whatever. We're doing with college because that's like a niche that we feel hasn't been tapped yet, and that might be an opportunity for us. So they fish tomorrow, Cayuga Lake. So we want to wish them luck. But we had them on the pod on our last Slay Station in April because they fished their first event. And one of the kids, right, we're going around the horn. I'm like, all right, you could shout out whoever you want your sponsors. And he was like, I don't have any sponsors to shout out. And it made me think. And, and I said it there in the live. I almost felt bad that he didn't have it, but like it made me feel like bad for him. Like he's like, oh, I don't have, like it was like he was supposed to have sponsors,
bad for me.
right? And that brought up a point where I think we're all like sometimes in the fishing game, it's like if you don't have a sponsor, you're not on pro staff, then you're nothing, right? And I did not like that feeling for this kid,
No, that's
right?
not
Like,
good.
and so like talking to him, saying, hey, it's okay if you don't have a sponsor, like because he said, oh, I don't have any sponsors. I was like, dude. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It doesn't mean anything. Half the time these people
more power
say
to you. In fact, like
exactly.
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, believe me.
In motocross, they call that privateer. I did this as a privateer. All right,
exactly.
I didn't have any help.
Yeah, but I just caught myself because I was just about to say we'll go around the horn, shout out who you want and your sponsors, and I feel like we get so caught up in trying to be. And there's nothing wrong with it, but I hope you get the message I'm trying to say is like we're talking, you know what I mean?
We call
like
it over here trying to
not
be pro.
Yeah, not everybody. You don't always have to have a sponsor, right?
Yeah.
And like but obviously, if you have one, awesome, shout them out. But I feel like right, if you watch any fishing podcast, this always happens, right? It's always because it's such a part of this industry to promote in order to either give back to the industry or to get monetary value for yourself or your club or whatever. So I get it, but it's like, holy shit, everybody, we're all salespeople, right? When you don't even know it. Like
we're walking billboards.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so crazy that's such a big part that I think you just don't even think about anymore. You just don't think about it, right? And I just don't. I don't know. As I was just saying, hey, we'll go around. That just popped in my head, like, holy shit! That's like we emphasize this so much. It's like, but whatever. It's just part of the game, I guess. Whatever. So anyway, let's go around the horn. Tell people where they can follow you. Give a shout out to your honey or big sexies or to your man, whatever's going on nowadays, and your sponsors if you have any pro staff, whatever you'd like to share. So. Kayak Santa, let's start with you, David Morris, since you're next to me.
Oh, okay. Well, God bless you. First and foremost, I have no sponsors. My biggest sponsor is the good Lord, and I thank Him for everything. And my beautiful bride, Jerry, she sponsored me through this whole thing. So
hell yeah,
that's all I got. I don't even know how the heck to get a sponsor, but I think I got the two best right there. Thank you for having me on, man.
I think we could get you a beard sponsor.
There
There's
you
no
go.
doubt
There
about
you go.
that.
There you go.
That beard, that white, Jesus Christ, dude. That's like that is
well, you
that
know,
is legit.
Frankie, I went this last year. I fished I fished ABA last year, and I did pretty good in the numbers.
Yeah.
And my face and my hair was giving me a hard time. So right before the TOC, which I qualified for the TOC, which was it? Where the hell was that?
At the ABA.
Yeah, ABA. That was
wasn't that Paris?
I don't know. No, it was some like down south.
Yeah,
but anyhow,
I was
I
there.
had my wife cut my hair and I shaved my beard. I didn't do worth a crap.
Oh,
I'm not shaving no more, man.
Don't shave it.
You shaved off the lucky beard.
Let it all connect, man.
But hey, God bless you all. Thank you for having me on, buddy.
Absolutely, brother. All right, let's take it to Drop Shot Dave. Dave Nunes.
Let's go. Well, we got to thank our presenting sponsors, Z Pro. They help us a lot, for Slay Nation, X Zone Lures, Hookset Hoolums, Heat Your Meat, for the main, sponsors for Slay Nation. And then some of our local ones, Riverwise Fishing.
Oh, the
Tube Loop Fishing, since. And then I just want to thank all my anglers, all my members for their support. They always reach out almost on a daily and, always, say thanks and appreciate what's going on. And I just want to show appreciation back and, tell them thank you and believing, in the system of what we got going forward on our first season. We're just barely halfway in our first season. And we're already looking forward to 2024, and I'm trying to make the experiences better and more enjoyable for them to the best of my abilities.
Thank you, Dave. You've done a great job this year.
Yeah,
man.
you're doing great, man. No doubt about it. Let's take it down to Max Lee. Maxed up.
Well, I am just like Mr. Morse. I don't have any sponsors, but I think honestly the guys I would like to thank the most is the guys that I compete against, because I honestly enjoy competing against you guys. It doesn't matter if we had it doesn't matter if we have anything at stake. I would gladly fish against you guys any day of the week just to fish against you guys for fun, because you guys really make the entire scene a joy to fish. So I'd really just like to thank you guys for basically fishing against me and handing it to me every now and then.
Yeah, with your 2 free kayaks. Nice, man.
I won one last year, but I gave it to my grandson.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
good man.
Christmas gift, of course.
But I didn't do it like Max. I didn't have the big fish. I won it.
That's
in a
sick.
raffle.
That's so sick. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining, Max. Nice meeting you finally. AJ.
Yeah, Dave already freaking nailed it with the sponsors for Slay Nation. I appreciate all the stuff that they do for us. Getting that package in the mail with the X-Zone Lures and all that stuff right before the tournament was awesome. We're doing something a little bit different this year with our awards, and to be honest, I'm not exactly stoked on it. We do our awards every few tournaments. Like, we meet at a bar, and it's fun. Everybody gets together, and we have a owner or a member of ours that owns a bar and everything.
Yeah.
He hosts us, but it makes it a little bit hard to really embrace the actual tournament that you just fished and you get in, and then but having all that stuff, I'm sitting on it still, just getting ready to go and give it all out with our plaques and stuff, and that's awesome. So huge shout out to X-Zone Lures and you, Frank, for making that happen and making this happen. Slay Ray for helping him out behind the scenes, especially with all the stuff that you do, with the jerseys and all the logistical stuff that you do behind the scenes. It doesn't go unnoticed. You guys are definitely putting in the work. So. And then thanks to Elric and all the folks that we have that fish with us, man. Trusting.
Hey, we're going fishing tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully we get on the water tomorrow. I just texted June. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good time.
Yeah. So thanks again. And yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, appreciate it. You keep crushing it in Nevada. Let's take it to Mike Lavoie.
Thank you. First, I want to thank my family and my wife. Very flexible and letting me kind of do the things I like to do. go out and fish with some really great people and hang out and camp. And, you know, I'm away from my family a lot of times. And I really appreciate that more than she probably knows. Also want to thank my sponsors who kind of help me kind of do these things and make it a little, you know, less on my wallet. Lowrance, Branson Baits, Relion, Motor Guide, Daiwa, AFCO, and P-Line.
Nice.
And I want to thank Dave for doing a really great job this year. He stepped in, and it seems that he's going full force, and it seems like he's really doing it right. So thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Nice. Awesome. Let's take it to Elric.
Hey, yes. Well, I don't have any sponsors, but I want to thank all my fishing friends just being there, and especially the guys that do the YouTube. You know, that's a lot of work, and we all benefit from watching. You know, all your hard work and showing us how it's done. And yeah, that's just what I'd like to say. Thanks, guys.
Yes. Nice. Well, thanks for joining us. Cheryl Bentley, The Brush.
Can you hear me? I had to switch back to my laptop.
Oh, we can hear you. We got you, girl.
Good. Okay. I want to shout out to all the lady slayers because they are across the country, and we have seasoned anglers. We have brand new tournament fishers this past event. We had ladies. It was their very first tournament event. They did amazing. It's just so cool to see the community that's building. They're all cheering each other on, and I love it. I love seeing it. And thank you, Frankie, Ray, Slay Nation, for giving us this opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you. You're doing a great job.
Good job out there.
Keep it up, ladies.
That's right. Oh, absolutely. That's one of my favorite series. That's one thing I'm almost most proud of that we started was the lady slayers thing. All right, Slay Ray, your turn.
Yeah, what's up, man? Hey, I just want to thank all the slayers across the nation. You guys bringing your photos, stories. It's awesome coming on, doing these lives, communicating through all the text messages and Instagrams and everything. So thanks to all the slayers. Keep it coming. I love it.
Absolutely. Good luck tomorrow, season opener.
Good luck.
Mineral Creek.
Yeah, man. Well, not season opener. We did Cayuga.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I shared that, but our Pennsylvania and our New York kayak series, they go against each other. It was their second annual Civil War event, which happened about 3 weeks ago, I think May 7th, on Cayuga Lake. Perfect timing. And yes, lots of fish. And so they had 55, almost 60 anglers. I think how many from PA went, Ray?
16, I think.
So
or
16, and then
the
rest were all from New York.
We had a good surge at the last 2 days where we had a decent amount of team come up.
Okay, so this is something they started last year, and what a great way to kick off their seasons. And the directors, they have a little bet that goes on. I think whoever won, the other director had to wear the other director's hat at their next
for the rest
event.
of the season.
For the rest of the season?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure TJ's got to wear it. I mean, I didn't go, so I don't do that.
I think one of those is getting burnt. And so New York took the W. New York came out by how many inches? 15, 10?
I just know Pennsylvania had first place and then 7th. So it was a good event for New York.
Oh, it was 355 fish were submitted.
And hogs, man. We're talking, I'm like, another 18 and a half inch. Oh, this is probably the 100th one I judged.
Yeah.
The ones that I was judging from that tournament, I was like, 1975, 20.
Oh, huge.
1975,
wow.
1975. And I'm just like,
I know. And I'm like, I didn't go. Why didn't I go? Why am I sitting here judging fish?
I denied a 20.
Come out to California, catch them 24-inch largemouth.
Yeah. I denied a 21 3/4 because the guy had his hand in a no-touch zone. And I'm sitting there looking at this fish like, I felt so bad, but it got to be done. But I felt so bad. I was like, dude, you caught a tank, but your hand. Jesus, why'd you have to put it there?
Dude.
But
it would be if only there was a way that we could post like a standard of where to put your hand, and then make that available for all anglers to read, and then they can see that before the tournament.
Well,
That way, when they take those pictures,
I know in the past, AJ, KBF.
You mean on the
that was
website?
sarcasm.
That's
that
in the
was
rules.
That said where you can place your hands at.
It's every tournament. There's always one. There's always one.
Oh, I know.
Somebody's
I
like,
know.
and everywhere, everybody's like, oh, that one time, man. Like that one time. You gotta.
You know what you need to have
everybody.
is when you go to take the picture in Tourney X, there's like little tiny lines already in your picture. Like, like put the fish in here, and this is the green lines, and here's the red lines. Don't put your hand near the red lines. Just stay on the green side.
It's like yeah, like, it's like the camera like has this thing that like fits what
you're like a deposit on a check.
It's like a backup camera.
That's not a bad idea.
Is my picture going to be okay or not?
That's not a bad idea. I wonder if I'm going to go to Dwayne.
Where's Dwayne at? We got to call Dwayne. Let me get Dwayne Wally.
And so like you could put your hand in there and it'll like mark the sides of your hand like
yeah, like an Instagram filter.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Does my flip phone have that capability?
It's not a bad idea, guys.
Yeah, that's technology. He should be able to do it, you know?
Or just put it in a rule where people read it and then they know.
People don't read nothing, man.
People don't read rules.
Who wrote Frankie Sucks? Yeah, thanks for joining the live.
Oh, man, that's no good.
Yeah,
Frankie.
see? There's always
Frankie, what'd you do?
haters. Always haters on the Slayers.
That's your cheater.
Yeah.
That's the guy you caught, Frankie.
Yeah. Oh, that probably is. That probably is.
He's
Oh, that's
burning
funny.
it.
Ryan Nye that can't get me to drive 2 hours to fish.
Who is that? It's Ryan Nye?
Yeah.
That's not my boy. Oh, it's Nye. You're welcome. Oh, that's funny. That's my buddy. So that's Ryan Nye leading the KBF Trail Series out of Connecticut. Let's go.
All right.
Leading the whole charge there for that big trail. That's Nye right there. So good luck tonight. You just finished pretty well, and wherever the hell they just were.
Where are they at in Connecticut? Cotton. What is it called? Cottonwood.
Oh,
Candlewood.
Yeah, that's our Clear Lake, our whatever you want to call it. It gets it's like that. There's only like our big boat scene. There's only very few lakes tournaments happen, which is Candlewood Lake, Lake Lillonona, and the Connecticut River. Those are like the three main big boat lakes. So like Candlewood gets beat up. Like my club, we don't do any events on Candlewood. It's just ridiculous, and it's not. It's not safe, and so Candlewood Lake, but it's a great lake. Like that's one of the top 100 bass lakes, right, in Bassmaster magazine. Right. A lot of the pros come and fish Candlewood Lake, and they're undiscreet bass boats. Right. So like Van Dam used to come over and fish a lot. Ike and Ellie fishes up this way a lot, but they don't fish in their tournament boats. So like there's a good chance you'll pop up. Like the guy, the Kitech owner, the USA owner, Mike or whatever his name is. I bumped into him when I was a co-angler for the ABA in the big boat scene years ago. He'd be fishing there a lot. Some other guys, Lunker City, all of them. That's a good lake. That's phenomenal. The smallmouth there are phenomenal.
I've seen the smallmouth; they're huge.
Yeah, that's like if there's an online event, like if you're fishing any of these online events where it's like a national, all the guys I know, all my friends, and all them, they all go to Candlewood Lake. That's where they go to compete with the smallmouth against Florida and whoever else. But yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up. I just want to thank everybody for hopping on tonight. I know for some people it's late here on the East Coast. It's already 5 after 11. So thank you so much. I know in the West Coast, right, 3-hour difference, but it's Friday night. You got
Memorial weekend.
Memorial weekend, baby. That's it. So whether you're working, whether you're barbecuing, hanging out, obviously we just want to thank all of our veterans that, not even veterans, yes, of course, but everybody who, the ultimate sacrifice, right? That's what Memorial Day is about, is just remembering those, because I'm sure we all know somebody, whether it was a family member, a buddy, whatever it might be. So that's the reason we're able to fish and do all this stupid shit, right? It's because of people that sacrificed, first responders, veterans, active duty, all that. So enjoy this weekend. Take a moment to just kind of celebrate that and be thankful for it. Thankful for all of our Slayers. Thankful for everybody here. It's so nice. This is one of my favorite things to do. Is I see names on rosters. I see names on memberships come in. But I like to see people's faces and meet y'all and just let you know that, we're trying to do the best we can to provide tournament opportunities, right, and make it fun and do this and have, right, camaraderie and make friendships, right?
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of this. I can't tell you how many people we know that live in Maine or New Hampshire travel down to Florida and fish at one of our Florida Slay Nation events and now become best friends with those people down there or East and West Coast. So hopefully one day I get to meet everybody on the screen, and we get to fish. I don't catch much, but I give good handshakes, good hugs, and I'm fun to have at a party.
Either, but
You and Slay Ray.
That's right.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Slay
I'm
Ray.
ready to
Slay
come
Ray's
out.
bringing shirts for everybody.
I'm
All
ready.
right.
All right, y'all. So listen, have a great weekend.
Enjoy your weekend, guys.
If you're fishing, be
Peace.
safe. And share some
Tight
pics.
lines.
If you're fun fishing, share
Yep.
some pics. We'll
Yeah.
post it up. I need some
AJ
content.
and I are fishing tomorrow.
Have a safe
All right.
weekend, man.
Send some
Crush it.
pics. I'll post them.
Later.
All right, y'all.
Peace.
Have a great one.
Have a good
Peace,
one, guys.
love.
Bye.
Play all
See you
day.
guys.
Let me remove everybody here and take you off, dude. Hey, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. All right. If you're interested in fishing Slay Nation, check out our website, SlayNationTournamentFishing.com. I'd like to thank all of our guests and directors who hopped on tonight. Right. Everybody's hustling, doing what they love. That's what it's all about. We have all different types of series. Go check out our website, see what's in it for you. If you're interested in becoming a director, we're already taking director inquiries. We got Louisiana on the map, revamping North Carolina and some other states. So reach out. We'll talk to you about it. Right. It's tons of fun. Provide opportunities in your area. And as always, peace, love, and slay all day. Woo! Later, y'all. And share this. Peace.